Brother, wake up.
Fellow humans, we ask, can we together deliver peace and healing to heart and mind?
Ulysses reheard the words being replayed.
Get it? Huh? No. High quality, top end production.
Yet again.
Continues.
Yet again. Hey,
Continues.
We're getting better. It's 7:01.
Woo! 7:01.
We achieved
Wait, my hand is
something.
gone. Wait, I gotta do it this way.
Wait,
7:01.
I gotta put that behind.
7:01. And look at the clock. What does the clock say?
7. Of course, the clock is not
So
moving.
in the analog world,
the clock is not moving, just so we're aware, and the clock does not move throughout the entire night, just so that we're aware.
but what we want to make people highly aware of is that time does move the further away you get from Earth. What?
Yeah, think about
Yeah,
that.
check that one out for a while. All right, well, welcome to Thursday Night Social. For any of you who have never tuned in or never watched a single thing, this is our version of Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Wayne's
Man,
World.
Kid goes old school.
Yeah, going old school. This is our school, our version of that, where we get together and we geek out on stuff that we like to geek out on and talk about the big plans that we're trying to do on blockchain and in that world, and just other fun stuff, and then randomly move stuff around the screen because that's what we're trying to do. And
I don't want you to cut off your hand. You know? We don't want there to be.
Can I pull it down? Ready?
Ready?
Ready? Here we go. Pull it down. Ready?
I wish.
No. Get ready to
I
pull.
can't.
You can't do it down.
I have to fade it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sorry, can't pull it down right. Like as
It does
we do
look
that.
cool up there, though. Okay.
Oh, it does. It does fit there. Actually, you could probably even go a little bit wider because you see the edges.
Yep.
Yeah, try to go a little bit wider with it. Let's see what we do on there. So again, high-end production every time you tune in, and things we're going to talk about tonight. Like we're going to talk about the metaverse. Like what? No, we don't need to put on conspiracy hats. This is just like the new virtual world that's going to exist with augmented reality, and sort of like when you put on the Oculus, right, if you will. That's sort of the metaverse. It's the beginning of the metaverse. The metaverse is sort of like the internet of all of that kind of deal. So we're going to talk about metaverses later on, and we're going to have that kind of defined. We're going to talk about alpha users, test users, goals, and most importantly, we're going to talk about going for the win. That's what we do each and every week. We get together, we talk winning together. Right, Tim?
Winning together. I do remember that. That was a culture statement. Wasn't it?
I think that you're right. That was something like that.
I don't remember if that was one that we had chosen along the path of defining our culture, but at some point there was something along that line.
Which reminds me, I should actually send the access thing to Steven, just in case he wants to join in. So go ahead and just talk for a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say Chuck is actually finishing up a process that he's going through with setting up a culture for one of our friends, Nikki, and her business, and man, it's turning into quite the perfect timing for it, and has really brought about a perfect opportunity for her to start understanding the marketing message that she needs to start sharing sooner than later. But just so I don't know, she's just doing phenomenal right now, and she's doing awesome. Of course, she did have a problem with her machine today, but they were right on it from the support end, so hopefully she got through it, and it turned into a profitable day for her. But
so this is where it's fun, like, because Tim just is like, yeah, throw me the softball. I'm ready.
I'm good.
Throw me the fastball. All right, come on. Throw me another one. All right. So, one of the things is we're trying to work on our formatting, right? So I think
Right.
like we do need to start thinking about like using the scenes that are in the system, but also like creating a format because we want to make sure that we're going on our proper sort of breaks, like you were saying earlier, and we do want to get that to a little bit more formalized.
We are getting close to that too, where we can actually build that part of the production system out for Udicci.TV. There's a whole system that we had was quite involved in 2013. Was that roughly when we were using it, right? When we were at Blue, what was then Blue, and had this whole production set up and could follow along on the production right up on Udicci.TV. People could interact with us all the way back in 2013.
Well, things change. That's kind of, it's interesting because we were talking about this today, is just sort of like how old technology is really new again, right? We were talking about like Telerik, and what were they were something controls. What were the name?
Telerik controls was the ASP.NET controls.
Right.
And they kind of evolved with MVC and some of the other technologies that came along, but they definitely added a overhead to to develop
back in the day.
Back
in the day. They made the controls made it awesome to develop, but you had to work your efficiencies elsewhere, right? And it just was kind of like, okay, that's interesting.
It was very challenging times at those times, but now the front ends are such a lightweight. They're also lightweight right now that is really less of a factor, and there's so many options. And we started talking about this because Chuck came in on. I was actually trying to set up on Udicci.TV, just in case nobody knows. Udicci.TV is where you can also find this stream happening right now. And for anybody that might be on, which we don't even know if they're on. I don't even know if, did I get YouTube up? I don't even know if I got connected to YouTube.
So we check YouTube.
Yep, YouTube is there.
Okay.
It's good.
All right, we're good there.
I trust it.
Okay. All right. So that's good there.
So.
And let's see, we have some people checking in.
Awesome.
Okay.
Let me double check over here to see. Okay, yeah, we don't have any visitors coming in for video yet, but that's all right.
Yep. Nope.
So.
We're not really expecting any visitors until around like 7:30 or sometime between 7:30 and 8. We have a few other people who might join us, and that's kind of part of what we do each week is we invite people in, and because as it is, the Thursday night social, we try to keep it social, friendly, fun. Talk about important things, and like I said, we kind of review our business goals. So let's kind of go into that one. We were talking about this earlier. Tonight's theme is Go for the Win. In our 8 o'clock hour session, you'll see we have Bills talk, and this week the Bills went for the win. And there's some fair question about whether you should have gone for it. You go for it all day long. You let your team know you go for the win. And what happens when you don't go for the win? You get up, you do it again, you go for the win. So that's kind of tonight's episode is called The Goal Remains. And that's you've heard the statement time and again, like that the plans change, the goal never does. Because if you have this, if the work that you're doing is worth your effort, then that's what you're trying to achieve. Whether you achieve it on that play that ends up causing you to lose a game according to the scoreboard, but if the goal is to win the Super Bowl, you just kind of continue through it. So we missed a goal. We missed a deadline of trying to get our alpha users on board. And we're just kind of resetting that now. And I think what we've settled on is Thanksgiving. Right? So not exactly, we don't have a specific date yet, but generally around that Thanksgiving day, we'd like to start bringing some people on. Prior to that, we're going to bring on a few testers.
Yeah,
so
alpha
like
testers.
2 weeks for alpha testing.
Yeah, so there's basically what we're looking at is probably November 1st, I think is what we decided that we would start bringing on alpha testers. And essentially what alpha testers would be are people that want to come on and just kind of, go through the system with us and understand what it is a little bit, have to dig a little bit deep and, maybe some areas that they might have to learn or kind of, fudge their way through. I don't think that there's very many spots anymore that are going to be too difficult to figure out. So
no, I think that
it's more about just making sure that the system can handle the amount of data that we're going to start throwing at it, and starting to kind of ramp up some of that information. So
I don't think that like it's the data. I don't think anything like that's going to be a concern. I think it's just a matter of us getting the answers from like getting input from the people who are testing it. Like, okay, what do we need to do to fix this form, that form?
What could
I
we
think
do
it's
better?
all pretty. I think it's all pretty clear. I think that like getting on will be easy enough, and you know what that really means is we're saying like bringing on alpha users is that people will be able to claim their identity on the BSV blockchain as an NFT. So they themselves will be making an NFT for themselves, and then you can do you'll be able to do more things shortly thereafter. But you know, our first thing is just get on, get yourself made up as an NFT. Then we'll start talking about how you can like monetize that, or put some added utility behind the fact that you have this identity. And it may not be the identity as much as it's it's something as simple as we see right now, all the different pictures that are out there, like that people are thinking are NFTs right now. Is and they are those images, and those images that are being made are going to be useful in like the upcoming metaverses, and we'll talk about the universal scene descriptions here after our first break when we come back. But yeah, so basically the goal then we're going to put that out there as we're going to say roughly Thanksgiving. We'll get a more exact date what we think by that, but November 1st we'll be looking for a couple alpha testers. And so we'll have about 2 weeks of alpha testers. Yeah,
kind of intermixing with us and stuff. And, yeah, and I think actually 3 weeks, more like 3 weeks by the time hopefully the first week we have some people lined up, and we got about a week right now to kind of start getting people interested. So
that actually is something we could begin doing. We could actually begin sending out the
invitation.
We could change the invitation slightly. Well, no, the invitation we currently have is to take control of the thing.
We want to do the QR code though, so we want to actually do the QR code with going to the engage with me, which will which will load the engage form.
All right. Well, either way.
Yeah, we'll figure all that out. We'll share more and watch probably because we'll probably share it on here. We'll probably share instructions maybe.
I would think so.
Like walking through actually engaging somebody so that people understand what it means and what happens and how it happens and why it happens. So, are we filling until 7:15? Is that what we're trying to do?
No, not exactly. I'm just answering a forthcoming guest.
Gotcha. So, forthcoming guests will be doing Ceox at 8 o'clock, and we'll be doing the Maverick I.O. show at 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock we join the Pirates, and the Pirates are have some kind of cool news tonight. So, that'll be fun. You guys have to tune in for that one because kind of a big thing. Blackbeard got a pretty big connection, so it's good for him. And
I guess that's
we're
a great
looking
question.
forward
Like,
to
what did he really get? Like, if we really, and we'll let him answer this specifically. But like, it's not like you got a promotion. It's like you got acknowledged for your contribution. So it's in a very big way. No. Yeah, it's like as I think about like the whole idea of the distributed autonomous organizations, right?
Right.
It's like it's not necessarily like there's going to be some language around all of this. Like what really happened? Like he got appointed, right? But it's more than appointed. It is promoted. It is recognized. It is acknowledged. It's job well done.
Yeah.
And
there's probably some benefits to it too. I would have to imagine.
So it's that'll be interesting fun on that side.
Depending on what. So are you going to share about the what you just heard before we started the show?
What was that?
The thing you were listening to about Pirate Chain?
No, I don't have enough information.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that later. But
all right.
Anyways.
So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about universal scene descriptions. Now, I don't know anything about these, but what I want you to start getting an idea is, the metaverse. We'll explain what the metaverse is, but for now, just think about it as maybe a big movie screen, or it's just any number of ways that you would see kind of your virtual world and your real world including some of the augmentation. And for those of you who are in the technology, I want you to think about a language that's effectively HTML for the metaverse. So we'll be back and we'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Brother, wake up.
Fellow humans, we ask, can we together deliver peace and healing to heart and mind?
Ulysses reheard the words being replayed.
I get that everybody hates their most hated politician because they are this person. But, at some point you just have to allow yourself to enjoy the theatrics, because we're in the midst of a theatrical production and we're all just characters.
It's almost like a comedy in some ways. Sometimes watching this stuff,
it's
because
a tragic comedy.
Yeah,
it's Shakespeare.
It's
it's all the
absolutely.
world is stage, and each of us play their part, or Elvis, whoever said that.
It's pretty incredible to watch what's going on, though, and just watch the level to which some people will go.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. So it's fun. I mean, so what is all that about? Like, you can't necessarily believe anything that you hear and say, right? Like see or whatever, if I say that properly. But what's the?
What?
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was in production mode. Now we got this great riveting content again.
Yeah.
Here we are again, Thursday Night Social. And we are clueless as to what we are going to talk about, say, or even discuss.
No,
we have
not
everything
true at all. That's not. We absolutely know what we're going to discuss. We're talking universal scene. What did I call them?
Universal Scene Metaverse.
Nope, not the metaverse.
Oh, the universal
metaverse comes
scene
later.
USD.
The metaverse comes later.
USD.
Yeah, it's USD.
Universal Scene
I got it here.
Delivery.
Universal scene description.
Description. Okay.
Okay. So let's have a little fun about this, and why all of these things are kind of important. Like right now, if anybody happens to be tuning in, and which a few are, we get that. Like, okay, you're watching this, or at least you think you're watching this, right? I mean, we could go really weird because, truly the ability of the cameras and we know that they are able to, assume depth and whatnot. We start to think in terms of, let's say, the augmented reality, that this is not really there, right? I mean, we get this, and when we see this on screen, we kind of think, okay, no big deal.
These chairs are actually not what they look like on the screen.
Exactly, right?
We're having fun with the filters.
Right, we're just kind
because
of
everything you get filters are everywhere. They're on
everywhere,
cameras.
Right? So
on
that's just changing
camera.
the light, right? That's basically changing the light, if you will.
Exactly.
And not only do we have filters when we look at this screen and we process it through our eyes, but we have the glasses that you wear now, and then you have augmented reality,
virtual reality glasses.
Right. So you're wearing the glasses, or you're driving down the road, you can see some processing some information about the cars in front of you, or maybe what the temperature, I don't know, whatever it is, maybe the channel TV or channel radio station you're listening to or something.
Yep.
Maybe you're watching your latest, Britney Spears scandal. I don't know.
Hey, do you remember like back in the 90s when we were in the Air Force, they had that Texas, the Western game that was the guy that was actually like a little, it was the guy that was projected into a, what do they call it? Hologram. And,
that was,
and you could shoot him.
Not him, the one before that though. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. That was a little bit different. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that, right?
So
there
was
this
a real guy. It was a real guy that was filmed, and he walked out from this basically out of thin air, and he walks into this area, and he says some words to you, and he gets ready to draw, and you have to draw, and basically you shoot it, and when you shoot him, he falls over, and sometimes you miss, or sometimes it was different based on where you were aimed at and stuff. So it was technology. That was early 90s.
Okay, hold on. We have a tech issue that we have to look into.
Uh-oh.
Tori says she cannot see this through Udicci.TV. So I'm going to go to Udicci
Oh.
TV and see why can't she see this. Okay. It's having a little hard time loading right now. So that's a thing. Did we... Okay, you're getting in. Okay, you're there.
I see all of them. So then you click on Unencrypted.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Hold on, let's see if maybe she didn't click on it. Maybe that's what she's expecting it to be live. Let's see
Oh,
here.
yeah, you have to click on it to activate it.
Did you click?
On Unencrypted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't go live automatically.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit...
We could probably change that.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of play with that one.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's working. There she is.
Wait,
Okay, you're in there. Now we got to see if we can hear you. Can you hear us? All right, hold up like your hand if you can hear us. No, like hold it over your head if you can hear us.
Oh my god.
Like this. Both of them. You can't hear us?
Wait, you
No?
can't hear me?
Oh, wait, we can hear you. We're beginning to hear you.
Okay.
All right, can you give us a test?
A
What we want to
sound
do,
check.
we need to do a sound check, okay?
Okay.
And you have a choice for a sound check. Either you can like sing something like "Son of a Preacher Man,"
Oh my god.
or you could give us a headline for your life. You know, that vision board thing. You could give us
goodness.
something that's like meaningful in the moment to you.
Well, my friends and family. Abby's downstairs right now.
Abby's downstairs. Okay, so she's gonna watch it right on Udicci TV, right?
I think.
All right, good. So that'll let
Find
us
it.
know how that's working. We just kind of, now that you just said that, we're thinking like, we probably shouldn't make it where you have to click on it. It should just probably show which one is live. So we'll have to kind of update that one. But we were just getting ready to talk about the universal scene descriptions. But we'll kind of push that out for a little bit. But those are a really interesting... So just to kind of explain that to you, have you've heard of the term HTML?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't really
so
know what it means.
what's that?
I don't really know what it means.
So it simply means hypertext markup language. That's all it really means. It's basically that you can put text in a document and assign properties to it, like bold, right? So bold or italic is just a property applied to text.
Okay.
All right. So that's really all HTML is like this way of communicating that with a whole bunch of scripting languages and blah, 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 blah. So anyways, this universal scene description is basically like was described as this HTML for the metaverse now, which is really interesting. So like in your world, how you've known it all your life, you've been reliant on HTML and you just didn't know it. It's the way that you communicated through all of your browsers and all that other stuff. And now we have this thing that's going to kind of like maybe possibly replace HTML and allow the metaverse to look more like Toy Story and it's interactive within it. Okay, so tell us.
You definitely lost me.
Yeah. So all right. So you were asked to be prepared to answer the question, what is the metaverse?
Okay. Well. Okay, honestly, a lot of it is confusing because it's all physics terms and quantum mechanics and all that, which I don't really understand. But basically, what I got from it is, okay, so it's like everything, it would be like, I don't know how it would be formed though, like multiple universes, like how they would, I don't know, but basically everything is that happens has happened or is happening in another universe at the same time, and that's why, and we just happen to be on this random universe if that's the case, and everything here just happens to be like set for us to survive.
So that's probably a good explanation of multiverse,
Okay.
right? So metaverse.
Oh my god, I've been looking up I was looking up multiverse.
Oh, good. Well then, good. I'm glad that we kind of like got that right. Okay, I gotta see. Hold on, if we're getting. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way,
What?
sorry, just checking in with the pirates. Yeah. Okay. So you've been looking at multiverse, and that's good, right? So again, to kind of condense sort of what you were saying, and correct me where I'm wrong here. That the idea of the multiverse is that there are like just infinite number of other places that this exact thing is sort of happening ever so slightly different,
Yeah.
right?
And then like the everything behind it, like the quantum physics and everything would be
It
similar.
gets down to like the
just very different.
photons and the infinite relationship across time. So that's kind of an interesting thing, right? So the
It's all
metaverse.
confusing, to be honest.
Okay, but it's okay. It's okay. So just think about like, you know, like in a simple multiverse would be like you're laying in bed at night looking up at the stars in the sky, and when you blink, it is actually slightly different than it was prior to you blinking. But imagine that exact instant happened at the same time. It's really just a difference of a blink, and when you measure the time that it is. Okay.
So
Anyways,
yeah.
so once we get beyond that, because that gets to the protons thing, the metaverse is probably easier to understand. But if we start to look at some of those universes, if you will, or those what we're going to call a universe, which was one universe might be just like your PS5, right? That's a universe, right? Because there's a whole community inside of your PlayStation 5, right? There's people who are certain gamers, they play this kind of game or that kind of game, and you have a community, and that's sort of like a universe. And then you'd have people who are like in the Xbox, and that's sort of a universe. And you have people who are doing their own thing, and that's sort of a universe. And that's all happening online. And we have things like Second Life and all of these other kind of platforms that we've have going on. That we get it. It's all very linear. But as soon as we start putting on our augmented reality, where we can see technology interacting in the real world, right, we begin to take our own physical being and create it in multiverses. So my identity would go to my PS5, my identity would also go to my Xbox, and they would sort of cross paths, so that I could create my identity across the metaverse, which is basically a collection of all the multiverses.
Okay, but the multiverse is very like scientific, like very many quantum physics things. So I'm confused. Like, is it? Are you saying it's like a like? Are you when you said metaverse contains all the multiverses? Is that like a literal scientific term that they use?
So metaverse, in the way that we're using it, would probably fall under computer science. Okay? It would be based around our understandings of physics, right? Because that's what we try to do. As humans, we keep trying to reproduce our nature better than it is, and we never succeed because we just bring out the worst of us. But time and time again, we're just sort of trying to, improve upon the thing in front of us, right? It's like that's sort of that idolatry thing that just kind of gets happening. But anyways, multiverse, metaverse. The metaverse is sort of like the properties in all of the multiverses. No, still don't hear. All right, Tim's going to describe the metaverse.
It's basically the way if I'm understanding the way you're explaining it right now, is if you were to consider like some of the different worlds that exist on a single platform, like Battlefield or the different games. You have Battlefield, you have Grand Theft Auto, you have even there's huge communities around games like Farming Simulator, Truck Simulator. There's a game out there for mowing lawns. I mean, and there's even one for power washing houses. There's actually one now that's or there's been one for being YouTuber's life. So there's these different communities of people that exist that are really communicating and talking a lot. And it's really interesting if you go out and watch some of the interactions on the community. There's some sort of a comfort that they find inside of that community, whether it be through a common upbringing, through a common trauma that they've had to face, through whatever that may be. There's that commonality that some of these people have. And you start to see a lot of these communities starting to kind of almost niche crowds within the communities, where you have certain ones that have been impacted one way, or some that have been impacted another way. And what the metaverse is, it brings all of those properties of all of those people and all of those worlds, the Grand Theft Autos, the Battlefields, and it brings all of those worlds and how those worlds are built, brings all of that up and puts it into one kind of shareable universe, where then that universe could then be shared not only amongst all these games, but all developers that are developing platforms on whatever becomes accessible on, if it's the internet or by way of a paywall service through blockchain.
It's the meta. So let's just actually we'll go to Wikipedia here and we'll just go with this. The word metaverse is made up of the prefix meta, which means beyond, and the stem verse, a back formation from universe, right? So it's basically beyond the universe. The term is typically used to describe a concept of a future iteration of the internet, made up of persistent, shared, 3D virtual spaces linked into a perceived virtual universe. The metaverse, in a broader sense, may not only refer to virtual worlds, but internet as a whole, including the entire spectrum of augmented reality.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Right? So
imagine playing a
I'm
Monopoly
understanding
game, and you're playing the Monopoly game, and you're going around the board, and when you land on the board, you actually enter the game board. You actually go in and you interact with Park Place.
So when you're on Park Place,
you're walking around Park Place.
Sorry, I just hear them downstairs. I hear your voice playing.
What's that?
Sorry. I hear them playing it downstairs, so I hear your voice playing. But yeah, that makes sense. I mean, what are you guys thinking that would be a place like what is about the metaverse that interests you guys?
So what's interesting is that basically, I'd say it this way, this may not be 100% accurate, but I think it's close enough, that NFTs are the building blocks of the metaverse, right? So as we're starting to understand NFTs, everybody thinks of them just as like images, but truly an NFT could be this thing that we're doing right here. So we've got about 12 minutes of video, right? We could chop this up into some sort of video that actually helps people clearly understand what the metaverse is, and we could put this out on the blockchain as an NFT, so that as people are building and beginning to learn about what an NFT and the metaverse are and how they come together, this thing that we just did right here may be one of the videos that gets watched over the next 10 years as this transition happens, and every time it's watched, you get paid for it.
Well,
see, you should have been better prepared.
Stupid. If in 10 years from now there's millions of views, I feel a little bit uneducated.
But that's okay. I mean, look, we're just hearing about these terms ourselves, right?
Right.
And we're trying to understand how it all fits together. And, if you just want to make it simple, right? So in your metaverse, just think about like you're putting on those Oculus or whatever else, those other VR goggles that are available through the different platforms. So let's just imagine for a moment that what the metaverse is what you create out of that black space. Now, I'm going to say, as far as Udicci is concerned, I think we should enter into some sort of nice, calm, like fall-colored space, right?
Right.
But it's basically this canvas. It's a blank canvas. As soon as you put on your glasses, it's a blank canvas that is your universe, right? So what do I want in that universe? Well, you know what? I want a backyard where my friends can meet. So either I can create my own backyard, or maybe somebody else has already created a backyard, virtually interactive, and I just put that backyard into my metaverse, and now I can use that metaverse and that backyard, and whoever created that backyard actually gets paid as we use it.
So
Okay, but stuff like that freaks me out.
Right?
Have you ever played Sims? The Sims?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so The Sims. Have you ever played The Sims? Have you ever seen The Sims? Okay, so in a lot of ways, this is kind of like The Sims. This is kind of like The Sims, but in a little bit more modern way, because we're going to be putting it in an association with blockchain, and then opening up open up to the metaverse.
Yeah, it's basically exactly that. That's right. Yes. Like your little sim world that you made. I mean, back in the day, if you want to think about the first iteration of the universe of a metaverse as simply being through your, VR headset, that's fine. But eventually, your metaverse will also include your augmented, so you can be wearing it around and seeing it as you're walking through the world. So you'll be able to have these different NFTs, and they're not simply just literally a backyard. They're actually a much, they can kind of help manage any aspect of your life. Like literally an NFT could be as simple as a task list, right? And that would be a part of your augmented reality. And whoever developed, in the same way if you develop apps, you develop an NFT now that handles a task list, and other people who use it in their metaverse, you get paid for it.
Yeah, think about it another way too. Think about it if you had these picture frames that now all of a sudden we put out some motivational videos, and you have these picture frames inside of this metaverse world that are sitting on your countertop or something, and as you walk by it, different videos play that are reinforcing or positive or helping you towards your goals or whatever. And so now whenever that video gets played, somebody gets paid for that.
So your metaverse is your actual universe all the way through to whatever form of creative design you would choose to do through VR sets. Your metaverse would be any of your augmented reality all the way through however you want to live your life.
Yeah, but that's kind of reminding me of Black Mirror.
I don't disagree, and this is why I want everybody to tune in and understand, we're not talking about, something that we just watched on TV and isn't real. We're literally talking about stuff that we're watching on TV and is more real than we ever thought it was.
Yeah. The technology has existed for a while to make this happen, actually.
Like Tim was just talking about back in the day, when I was younger and I went to putt-putt golfing games, and you're playing Pac-Man, but one of the most cool things of the day, there was this one that was called Dragon's Lair, something like that was sort of your first version of a hologram type thing. But then there was one that was this guy who came out and drew, and he did a fast draw,
cowboy,
the sheriff, cowboy, whatever. And he was a legit hologram. And I hadn't even thought about that, but we used to play that, and that was 35 years ago.
A while ago.
Right? So that kind of, it's the technology that, this is the world we're living in, and we have to actually orient our mind around this is the world, and then we have to really just focus on
another thing, too. Remember in 2013 when we were out in California, one of the guys in the room next to us in the tent had that VR with the 3D, where we had our VR on, and he allowed us and took us like on this little this little exploration around a building where you could see the 3D textures so clearly in the VR. You almost felt like you touch them. It was amazing. And that was in 2013. That was a few years ago.
All right, so no pirates tonight.
No pirates tonight.
No pirates tonight. Jake's unfortunately is getting back from his grandmother's funeral.
Oh.
So, our thoughts are with you.
Well, do you want to take a short break here and then...
Hold on, and...
We're back.
Lord, just please be with his family and bring peace to them, Lord, and time of sorrow. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Tori, you said 30 minutes? We're at 30 minutes.
Almost.
Okay. We'll continue this thing about, like, the...
Oh,
wait, are you gone?
Off. She turned off her video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
So, well,
Justin texted me and sent me a picture and said, "Stop picking your teeth." Like, she's so annoying.
But do you see that you're on our wall?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, we need to kind of like lower that or like raise it up or something, just a slight bit. But
yeah, I was trying to think. I'd probably cut the bottom off of the TNS there and then bring that up and make it a little bit bigger. So.
All right. So hey, in the next 2 weeks, our goal is to bring on some test alpha users, and what we would like to do is to bring some people on and have them create an NFT for themselves. So that you would you own your identity on the BSV blockchain, right? You kind of are your own NFT. You begin there, right? Because if you wanted to get paid for something like this, people need to know who to pay it to, right? So we can begin to produce NFTs like this, but first we have to stake that claim in the ground. Anyways. All right, we'll let you go. Thank you for your time tonight and helping us to understand the metaverses.
The multiverses. The multiverses.
Yeah. Your sister said that she was going to listen for the first half hour of the thing tonight before she came on for her segment. I don't know that we have, we have another guest who may or may not be, 2 other people who may or not be joining us. So you're welcome to stick around and we can continue this. And I can actually then help you, share with you about universal scene descriptions, which has to do with basically how to make your life look like a Pixar movie. Okay, well, we're going to take a break. If you want to hang around. We'll be back in
So wait a minute, real quick question. Are we cutting over to Ceox since it's 7:53?
Oh, yeah, well, shoot. Kind of like we don't have a closing thing. I guess working on our format here, I would almost think that we would actually go for a short break, come back, and close the show.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We're going to come back. We're going to do a closer. Tori, you going to hang around for a bit or are you going to jump off?
I'm probably going to go downstairs because Abby and Jamie are down there.
Alrighty. All right. Thank you.
Bye, Tori.
Thank you for joining us. I'll have to look up metaverses more.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you do.
You guys, I don't know if I'm just not understanding when I'm kind of freaked out.
No, trust me. It's reasonable to be a little freaked out right now.
Here we are. We're back.
Wait, how do we know we're back? See, now, are we here to close, or are we here to, like...
Well, yeah, we're here to close.
What time is it?
It's 8 o'clock. We
Oh.
missed. Man.
Okay, well,
okay,
this
we
is
gotta
the
hurry
of
up. End of the show.
End of the show.
End of Unencrypted.
See you. We'll be back in 1 minute.
We'll see you. We'll see you again next time. Next Thursday night.
We gotta go, right? Because we gotta... Oh, wait. No, too late.